Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 career mode with Red Bull, episode number 20 today for the Spanish Grand Prix of Season 2. And of course, it does show there we're the fastest team on the grid, but we'll making doesn't feel like if you missed any of the recent episodes, then I recommend you go and binge watch them. They're not very long, so they're quite easy to go and binge watch in literally about an evening or so, should you wish to. There's a playlist, so there might be I can't remember if there's a playlist in the description. I keep forgetting to check, but yes. Also, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the people who subscribed recently as well. We're currently on 197 subscribers, 3 away from the double 100 as well. So if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do it. It massively helps me out, and I really appreciate it. But going into Spain, I mean, we're hopefully going to make it a little bit more interesting than the actual Spanish Grand Prix in 2020, because let's face it, we were all bored to death by the fact that Hamilton had far too much pace. In this career mode, Red Bull have the fastest car, although it doesn't feel like it. Well, obviously, between qualifying pace there, we're definitely not cruising ahead of Red Bull. And speaking of qualifying, it's time to transfer ourselves over there now, making sure that we get a good result out of here. Obviously, I used a short qualifying for this session, but our fastest lap again. It's not good enough. 16th place. Gasly's 17th, so at least the AlphaTauri's down here. The McLaren's not too great, so that's why Norris is a little bit worse. I think his AI needs a little bit tuning as well compared to real life as well. But yes, this was our fastest lap at the end of the session. We always try and aim for the final 2 sessions. So somehow Williams has managed to join us at the end of the session and has crossed the line. So he's going on for his final lap. We are half a tenth up into the first sector, which is really not where we want to be. We lose a little bit of time through that corner down the hill as we go down the hill at the end of into the middle sector. This is where we made that. We're 2.5 tenths up now. That's more like it as we go through there. A little bit of understeer there, which we really wouldn't want to. Not too much on the curve, which is good. Otherwise, we'll lose a little bit more time. Don't want to go too wide either. Otherwise, we'll get a corner cutting penalty. At the end of the second sector, we're 2 tenths up. So we are improving, but Norris is improving now. Got Russell, who's in 14th place. And through that corner, we've gone half a second up. But will it be enough to get anything? Well, we want top 10, obviously, but a little bit over the bumps there. Lost a little bit of time, but we've gained time in our previous. So 6.5 tenths up on our previous time. And where is it? It's not 16th here. It's 14th. On the grid, a little glitch there. Our teammate is 3rd, so again. I've said this before. I've said this again. I'll say it briefly again in case you haven't watched any of the other videos. The AI are not consistent between qualifying and the race. Simple. I run the same level between qualifying and the race, and it doesn't appear to be. The AI are on a completely different planet compared to what they are on the race. Speaking of the race, let's go to it.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we start by talking about Valtteri Bottas? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Alexander Albon lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Carlos Sainz and Ocon, Magnussen, Stroll, Ricciardo and Max Verstappen. Bottas, they've taken a grid penalty. Perez, George Russell and a Red Bull. Gasly, Giovinazzi, Lando Norris and Nick de Vries. Kvyat and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Jeff won points, but my performances are, well, to tell you what it's like, it's what Albon is in real life with these qualifying performances, because he's qualified out of the top 10 a few times. But yes, we're going to change the strategy up a bit. I know a lot of people probably go on soft to mediums. We're going to go medium to soft, basically. Lower the fuel a little bit as well. I'll be the only person, apart from one of the Haas drivers, starting on the mediums. There's 5 lights away, and away we go. And it's a good start as usual using the overtake mode. We get Russell on the line already. We're now going to look at Perez. Can we get around the outside? To dive around the outside of Bottas, who is so slow. We have to take to the the sausage curbs. Unfortunately, the model of Barcelona doesn't have that little wide strip that they've got there, so we just go straight over. And of course, no penalty anyway. We retain P11 ahead of Verstappen and Bottas. Of course, Verstappen in the series dive it down the inside of Perez. We have to catch ourselves there to avoid ourselves smashing into the back of Daniel Ricciardo. But that's a good start. 4 places made up on the start. We're into the top 10. And we can just literally sit in this DRS train, because we'll have a look at Ricciardo now. Down the inside. Make the move stick. And away we go up into P9. So obviously we've just got to sit here, be patient and make our moves well. But here's a replay on the start. And I didn't actually realise this at the time, but we actually went 4 wide on the start. With myself, Ricciardo, Perez and Verstappen. We got Verstappen then on the outside and Perez in the run up to turn 3, obviously. As we jump to lap 5 now, we're sort of in this DRS range, so things have also already neutralised. Hamilton's in for an earlier stop than I would expect him to be, as Jeff shows the fact that that thing has now been fixed. One of the issues obviously with game glitches, that was the Jeff, when he comes with an alternative strategy, was not given the correct one, and now he is. But we're going to ignore it. He wanted to pit us on a lap 11. We're going to pit on lap 10 because I think that the soft tyres are going to be the faster tyre to run through this race, and the later we come in, then the more less time we got to gain the places back, because obviously overcut isn't really going to work, so we're obviously going to lose a few places. How many places we're out to find out. It was briefly a Red Bull 1-2, but that's going to change, and which is annoying, the fact that our teammate is in a net pole position. 2.5 second stop, not bad. I know Red Bull in real life can probably do better at the 1.9. And we come out, we're speeding up now. Unfortunately, the way the pit lane is laid out here means that it's going to be P9 ahead of Perez. Bottas on the hards. Again, it's a 25% race. You don't need to go on the hards, Bottas. This is interesting for the championship though, because Bottas has been leading the championship with Hamilton, I believe, and Vettel, as we watch Esteban Ocon. Unfortunately, his banana has broken down. Presumably, none of the bolts were put on correctly, as usual. So we jump now to lap 12, and we have a look down the inside of Ricciardo again. It was a very late move there. I really wasn't expecting that there, but we made the move stick up into what is P7 now, because Ocon was ahead of us. So, unlike in real life, and that's a very big move on Stroll there. In actual fact, that's Ricciardo to make a move as well. There's a yellow flag, and I think Ricciardo might have lost out actually. So it's on Ricciardo. We dive it down the inside. We're going a bit too deep, which obviously causes Stroll to unaware. There's the contact made. It's not really worth the penalty. But then he sort of gets caught out on that inner curve and then loses out to Perez. Stroll, I'm not sure what happened to him, but he wasn't really there. And on to the last lap, we catch up to Kevin Magnussen and really complete what is a good compact look through the field. Obviously, the pace of the car has helped. It's P5 today. I mean, we need to start making it. I'll definitely take it after the poor qualifying, but we need to sort qualifying out in order to get a good result and make sure that we continue with the pace, because the car so far for us, it doesn't suit my style of driving like the AlphaTauri did, because the AlphaTauri were getting good results, but Albon gets the victory, which is equally annoying, from Leclerc and then Hamilton, who despite the fact that they said they fixed making the fastest lap clear in F1 2020, they actually haven't. But yes, Vettel 4, so at least he keeps the points up, and Magnussen gets points for AlphaTauri. Racing Point also get Bottas gets 9th in the end, with Russell outside the points. He's had a good season at Alfa Romeo, obviously that 5th place. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Albon's up to 4th, so we've still got a long way to go. We're slowly climbing ourselves up the way in 8th place, so obviously a more consistent point scoring and we need to get better points than this. And really, was I really happy with the setup? The setup as well has been something that's also been lacking as well. In terms of the constructors, we now have a much larger margin over Racing Point and AlphaTauri, which is good.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today?
Well, not really. We just dive-bombed them all. I mean, we pushed as hard as we could, and the strategy of mine devising was the best.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, none of us wants to be the person to back down, really.
Appreciate your time.
There was a gap, so like Ayrton Senna said, so there we go. But fair play. I mean, it wasn't the end. I know what she was on about that thing with Stroll. Hopefully she wasn't on anything else. But yes, in terms of the R&D, well, the facilities we can't do anything about. Annoyingly, Red Bull still refusing to this. I might actually have to do those final 2 engine upgrades for that, force Red Bull to do that. But I'm sort of trying to get these minor chassis upgrades. Unfortunately, they're quite expensive R&D points wise. So yes, we might be able to afford a major aero upgrade. So that's my thinking, is to go for that major aero upgrade, and that way we can start, because there's lots of minor ones there. So that's my thinking. I don't know why it's so expensive, the R&D points, but yes, we did run Spain with a fresh power unit. We will be using the old power unit in Monaco, because we don't really that. Albon's now 93 rated in this championship. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe channel if you need to see more episodes of the F1 2020 Red Bull Career Mode. There will be another one coming probably Friday at Monaco, so stay tuned for that. But until the next VR6 time, take care. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.